Believe it or not, as much as I promote the military, there are some people I would say should not join the military, and these are kind of my mentalities of the people I've seen in the military or people that have wrote me about their certain situations, and this is kind of my feedback on that. What is up, guys? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below if you have questions. But as always, let's go right to the topic, and that is the 5 types of people that I feel should not join the military. And I'm not going to cover every person type, but I feel like as much as I promote this channel and promote joining the military because all the opportunities it has afforded me, I want to convey at the same time, and many leadership people that have told me this, Master Chiefs and so on, the military ends eventually, and so you have to have a goal after the military as well, whether it's one enlistment or the full 20 to 30 years. My goal is to get you to that point where you want to be at. So if the military can help you with that or not help you with that, or which one's going to help you the best, I kind of want to filter that out here for you guys. So please stay tuned, sit back, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the show. The first one I want to really mention because I think a lot of people are very young, so this is something that's very hard to judge yourself on, and that is being a practitioner of practicality, or even, I guess you could say, maturity. And I find that a thing that a lot of people lack when they come to the military. I want to say this because a lot of people that come to boot camp and they're like, how can I get a leadership position? How can I get, and people are hungry for these things, but do you actually have the skill set or tool set to handle those difficult situations and understand you're going to have people that don't agree with what you say, and it's going to be very difficult because you're going to be criticized. And I feel like that's a fault in myself that I've seen as well. I try and be a people pleaser at times, but being a practitioner of practicality doesn't always work out, and it can be difficult to be that mature person and not act out of emotions. And I think that's going to be a trend in these people that you see through this list, is being a practical person. Being in the military requires being logical. That maturity comes with you saying, I'm going to have delayed satisfaction from the day I sign this paper until I get a benefit when I leave here, or the delayed satisfaction of I'm going to do a lot of hard work and I may not get a thanks until the end of this 3-year tour where someone gives me a little piece of fabric ribbon to wear on my chest and say I did a good job. Or the delayed satisfaction that you may never hear that you did a good job, but you yourself are going to have to know that you went to work and did it, and that you actually took that day to reflect on that, because I think that's important. I don't think there has to be an award for everything. I say that having this logical thinking is going to help you, because a lot of people get deterred from this when they're like, this person did X and got this, so why am I doing X and not getting the same result? Be logical. Understand that there are more things and variables to that situation other than just your one point of view, and you're going to have to put your head down and keep working. Trust me, no one makes it through 20 plus years in the military without having these sour and bitter moments, just like myself have had, will have, am having. There's always some negative situation that I could reflect on. The next person I'm going to dive into is the person that's doing it for the school situation. I see a lot of people write me and they say, Nikki, I'm joining because I finished almost 2 years of schooling. I don't know how this money thing's going to work out, but I feel like this is the best way to financially secure my ability to go to school. And a lot of times I see a lot of people that would probably make great sailors or great people in the military. I'm not going to say they wouldn't, but they're doing it out of the ultimate goal of getting to that final educational goal, right? And the only thing they're going to get out of it is the benefit of a GI Bill and a paycheck and some experience and preferential stuff for being a veteran and possibly exposed to the government sector and being able to work for that part of the industry. But I think a lot of people don't understand the sacrifice of a 4, 5, 6 year contract. How willing are you to have that financial security for 4 to 6 years? And understand you could delay your entire goal for 4 to 6 years. I don't know if you're going to be deployed on a forward deployed naval forces where you're going to be going out constantly from Japan, Spain, Guam, things like that. Or if you're going to have a very cake job where you may be stateside and never deploy. It's really luck of the draw of what your job is and where you're stationed at. So you're taking a big risk. Yes, I feel like the sacrifice is there, but understand that you are probably looking at you could sacrifice in some other way and still get to your goal. And I think a lot of people are missing that. Again, I'm kind of going to go into that logical mentality, but I want to also counteract from another angle that logical aspect, and that is if you are the person that is very emotionally driven, if you act on emotions and not in a more logical sense, this is going to be a very difficult situation. And I say that the military is difficult because you don't understand. Like when you go to your regular job and you're there for 8-9 hours, maybe 10 to 12 hours, however long you have to work, you're already seeing people for a very long time, right? But at the same time, when you're in the military, you're going to end up with people 24 hours a day. And we're not talking about just 1 or 2 people that you have to work with on a regular basis. We're talking about your boss, the boss of your boss, you know, and it goes on and on. And so you can't really fake it, you know, like when I talk about being a civilian or something like that, you can usually put on your game face at work, play the game, do the hustle, make yourself look good, be competitive, like it's going to be competitive anywhere. You can do that, but it's much harder. And so if you're an emotionally driven person, you have to realize when you're in a situation where you've been underway for 30 plus days and you've seen no land and you're seeing all the same faces and you're grinding day in and day out, this is going to be an emotional toll on you. So I think that's one thing I would want people to consider to be self-aware about. The next one I'm going to say is something I've seen kind of as I've gotten into a more leadership role, and I've seen more people, or maybe a higher volume, maybe just because I'm at a E6 level now versus being at the E3, E4 level. But I would like to say that I think I've seen more people that have issues with authority. And I understand that you may think that your boss is dumb, but that can happen in the military or out of the military. But there's a lot of people in the military that don't understand that. And I say out of somebody that's had several jobs before joining the military, where I didn't like my boss all the time, and it's the same thing when you're in the military. Now, the irony of being in the military is I think a lot of people gauge everything on age, because most people come in at a specific age. So if you come in later, it can be hard to adjust your authority from if you're in your late 20s, 30s, to get orders from somebody like me that's 28. Not as much experience maybe, but the knowledge and the infrastructure of the military, because I joined at a certain age, got me there. So that can be a hard thing for people to deal with, is authority. And realistically, I find that this can create a huge toxic work environment. And I've actually seen that in situations at pretty much every command I've been at, where there are people that are different ages, different ranks, different backgrounds, different, you know, and sometimes that can dilute the common respect for each other, which actually makes it more difficult to work together. But yes, realize that if you have issues with authority, or you feel like you have typically had bad interactions with your bosses, the military can be a bad place for you, because you're typically trapped in that job. You don't just get to quit and say, okay, I hate the boss, I didn't like the place I worked at, so I get to quit. I find that most people are frustrated with that being in the military. Last person I would say don't join the military is the person that has a steady career, not a job, a career. And a lot of people that are younger, I feel like, don't totally understand what that means. What I want to get at from that is that job is going to be linked to a long-term goal of maybe the same industry, the same types of skills that you would utilize, even if it could cross into a different market. But, you know, if it's marketing, for example, you don't have to stay in food marketing the entire time. But if you have a marketing job and you can find yourself going into computer marketing or something else outside that genre, okay? Just trying to give an example here. Understand that that could be your career. And I've met a lot of people that have joined the military that said that they made more money, or a good amount to compensate for what they make in the military, before they came in, and they were kind of joining for this experience or an alteration of their life from their reality, because it felt monotonous or whatnot. And I want to let you guys know that that monotony comes into the military as well, because every job is a job. Like when I come to work every day, I've got to set tasks, what I have to do. I have a boss I have to report to. I have tasks that need to be done. You know, the whole thing of having a job or having a goal for the day is still going to be the same. I don't wake up every day and act like I'm on a US Navy commercial. And my question for these people is, what does the projection of you joining the military, getting out of that career field you're in, changing into something probably totally different from what you're already doing, how does that project you further into that career field or put you at a higher rung? And I feel like a lot of people can't on paper totally analyze that. But I will say, if you're looking for possibly breaking into a government sector job, it's a good break-in. Or if you're looking to boost your resume to break it out from others, maybe through having a veteran status, and if you're really patriotic, but you're going to have to take that maturity again and look back and say, okay, I took a hit maybe on my pay, but I'm doing something I really want to do. I'm enthusiastic about this, and I feel like in my heart I'm doing the right thing because this is something I chose, and you're willing to fall on your sword for it, then you can do it. But for these people that are in this situation, I would say your probably best bet is to be a reservist, because that way you will be able to kind of meet both, but understand it's not just 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. You're going to be doing a lot more in between that, from trainings and getting shots and all that stuff in between. It's going to be more like a part-time job. So yes, it's there, but realize that it will be another sacrifice as well. If you're looking to have that little bit of adventure, maybe get augmented somewhere else. I do know people that have been to Germany and the Mercy and all these other places they've been stationed in Afghanistan. The list goes on. They have a lot of choices of where they can go to, but that would be my option for you guys if you were dying to be in the military. Again, I do promote the military for a lot of people, but I think that everything is a case-by-case basis. I tried to fit people into each category, but if you do want to reach out and you're asking me about this video, hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below. I definitely answer your guys' questions there about that. And as always, I love you guys. I'll see you next time.